Before we left last week, we were talking about we were waiting for another ruling in the New York case. We were waiting for Judge
Mhm.
Engoron
Mhm.
to give the amount of that Donald Trump would have to owe for frauding the city and
Fraud.
state of New
Yep.
York.
Yeah.
Um, the judge set to rule in New York civil fraud trial of Donald Trump ordered. Wait, I'm sorry. The judge set to rule in New York civil fraud trial of Donald Trump ordered attorneys to provide details about whether ex-Trump organization executive Alan Weisselberg lied on the witness stand. I think they're saying
Mhm.
that the fact that he may have lied, while he was testifying in there is now holding up his ruling, which may
Yeah.
not bode well for Donald Trump. Judge Enderon cited reporting the New York Times that Weisselberg is in talks with Manhattan prosecutors to admit to perjury as part of a plea deal. So we were wondering why it was taking so long, and I think now we know.
Well, I think so I think that was just recent though, because they actually were talking about that and saying that wasn't what was taking so long because he just found out because I think there was just a reporting in the New York Times or something like that about the plea bargain or whatever Weisselberg is trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what it said.
To the
That's what
prejudice
that's he actually cited that New
Right,
York
because that was
Times.
right, because that was recent. So he just and then he just sent the
Correct.
letter over to so like all the time before wasn't because of that. He just found this out. So this is probably stopping it right now.
Correct.
Like if
Yeah.
he was going to do it now it's
Yeah.
going to take a little longer because what two people testified, Cohen and Weisselberg. What
Right.
that so against each other, right? Cohen is like, yeah, I was in the room when Weisselberg and Trump was like basically falsifying the numbers, and
Yeah.
Weisselberg's like, nope, never happened. But the law is if you perjure yourself and lie about one thing, then the
Correct.
judge can say it take that and say you lied about everything
That's
and
correct.
strike all the testimony. So
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah, that's what we got. Because I think, like I said, when we had left last week, we were almost
Mhm.
waiting for breaking
Yeah,
news to see
yeah.
what that total was. Because
Mhm.
I think what he was saying initially is that he planned on having that number by the end of January, and there we are now into
Right.
February. We still don't have that number, but now it appears as to why we don't have that number. It's becoming
Yeah.
more clear.
I think they have to do they have to do that by tomorrow or Thursday, right? I think it's by Thursday.
I think so.
Trump's appeal to the appellate court is Monday.
That's for that's
Right.
for
He's
the
Monday, right.
insurrection. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
right. He's Monday, but yeah.
It's so
You know,
funny that we have to keep track of all of Donald
so
Trump's
much.
bullshit.
So much. It's so
Yep.
much. It's
Yeah.
so much.
And
That's
it's
like
my understanding
everything.
too that if he is going to ask for a stay, I believe was the term for the ruling that happened today about that he can't just do whatever the fuck he wants as a president. That he's got to do it by Monday, and that the Supreme Court will have a decision as to whether or not they're going to move forward with it in a day or two, is my
What
understanding.
what are your thoughts? Do you think they're gonna
Well, my thoughts are irrelevant because I don't I'll be honest with you, my knowledge of all that is not the greatest. However, the people that I've heard talk about it, who I trust their knowledge, say that they believe that the Supreme Court they're going to look at the findings and go, that was pretty fucking good. There is absolutely no way we're going to hear this case. That is my thought based on other people's thoughts.
Right, right.
What about
I
you?
think I think they're gonna kick it too because if they okay, this is the thing. If they take it, they have to rule the same, right? They're just taking it to affirm it, right? That's all they're gonna do because they're
Yep.
not gonna say this is wrong because
Right.
they're not gonna give Trump immunity. But if they take it to affirm it, we kind of know they're only doing that to stall. Like if they take it, we know they're trying to stall time for Trump. Like
Mhm.
that would be the
Right.
only reason. They don't have to do that. They don't
Yep.
have to affirm it unless they're going to affirm it and lickety split, right?
Yep.
Other than that, we know that you're trying to push this so that Trump is in essence immune, right? Because if you push this trial until after the election, he's going to get rid of it. So that means, in essence, you have rendered him immune from prosecution. So I don't think they like Trump like that, honestly. Supreme Court, they can't get, he can't touch them. They're already there. I don't think they like him. They got what they want. They got Roe.
Yep.
Affirmative action is gone. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they checked off the shit on their Federalist stuff.
Yeah.
Why do they have to agree with Trump? Like, why they don't have to do shit for Trump right now?
Well, I mean, again, and there are some rulings where they didn't do shit for Trump, and I think they've
Exactly.
made that clear. But I think,
Exactly.
like you said, you know, obviously, I think we're in a place now where even if they do, they don't care. But you're right. Taking the case now is an obvious stall tactic for Donald Trump, which would be completely obvious. I'm not sure even the Supreme Court would do that,
Right.
and it
Right.
would look really bad. But that's what I was saying too. You have these people that don't give a fuck about looking bad. They don't care.
Right. But didn't like Roberts, because remember they were talking about this today, how something else went to the appeal court with Trump. I forgot what it was, and they ruled against him. I can't remember which thing it.
That's because who the fuck can remember all this
I
shit
know,
all
I
the
know, right?
time, to
And
be honest
Roberts
with
like
you? How
wrote
do
a
you
whole
remember it all?
right, and they ruled against him. Like, was it how many people? Like whatever against two, right? It was like
Yeah.
they ruled not in his favor. It was in Jack Smith's favor, and I just can't remember, but it had to do with one of his cases. So I don't think they're not. I don't think they want him. Like, I guarantee you, Supreme Court does not want Trump because it's trouble for the Supreme Court.
I agree with you. There might be some, I mean, that might be a legitimate point. There might, because the Supreme Court, these are people who are supposedly and supposed to be very distinguished. In fact, I'm obviously not a fan of Brett Kavanaugh, but
No,
even some of the Democratic Supreme Court justices had some nice things to say about him. So I think when you become a Supreme Court justice, other than it appears Clarence Thomas has just gone
right,
off the
right.
fucking rails, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with his batshit crazy wife. But there's a part of them that I'm sure takes this way more serious. And you're right. I think there's a part of them too that are like, if this guy's in office, he's going to be trying to tell us what to do on every fucking thing.
Right,
Like,
right, or take take their power away. They don't need whatever racist, bigoted shit that they're gonna do next. They don't need Trump to do it. They just don't
yeah.
because they have Republicans who can file these fucking stupid ass lawsuits that go all the way up to the Supreme Court. Then lo and behold, they get to rule on the Loving case, right? Like they get to rule on the stuff that they're anxious to rule on anyway. They can get that. They don't need Trump for that. They don't need him anymore.
Well, let me ask you this, though, in the back of some of their minds, because I still don't necessarily trust the Brett Kavanaughs and the
I don't
Amy
trust them.
Comey
Mhm.
Barretts and these people. Is there something about them in the back of their mind that if Joe Biden wins, the Democrats win the House, the Democrats win the Senate, then they expand the Supreme Court, and now all of a sudden, or they make laws where the Supreme Court, now we have term limits. Is there something about them that may keep them from
I don't think so.
the agenda?
I don't think so. I would think Biden would extend the Supreme Court.
I don't think he would, but I think there's a possibility you could get a Democratic president in there that would say, maybe we should do
Yeah,
that.
I don't think they're gonna worry that far down the line. Like Biden's not going to do it. He just isn't.
Yeah. No, I don't think he is either. I don't think he is.
I don't think not too many of them have the appetite to do it, to be honest with you,
I
because it's
actually think they should, based on the way some of these Republicans got in there. It's
I
just
know, but
absolute shit. But Baby Juggernaut asked if we did discuss the Texas convoy. We did, in fact. You could
we
go
played a
back and watch the
video.
replay. There's a nice little clip of, what was her name? Misty?
Misty.
Misty reporting from
Wasn't what I
the
thought.
she was
Misty,
she was reporting directly from there. She was a little pissed off there was no rape and
yeah,
murder.
she's like, where's the crime in?
Damn it.
Like,
I brought my camera and everything. I was going to post it on Facebook.
she's like, where's the fentanyl? I put all my money.
God.
see the fentanyl,
It's so
Paul.
easy to do these shows anymore
Where's the
because it's just
fentanyl,
so
Paul?
full of material of just ridiculousness.